Welcome to this explainer, where today we are taking that highly romanticized dream of a built-in aquarium and turning it into a concrete structural reality. If you've ever walked into a high-end home or commercial space and just been completely captivated by this glowing underwater world set perfectly into the architecture, we know exactly the kind of magic we're talking about today. It's stunning. But let's be real. Getting to that beautiful finish line, it requires a whole lot more than just buying a glass box and cutting a hole in your drywall.
I mean, just imagine turning a standard, boring interior wall into a totally eye-catching living focal point. It's a pretty compelling thought, right? Instead of hanging up just another landscape painting, you are incorporating a dynamic, constantly moving piece of nature directly into your home's footprint. And as a huge bonus, doing this actually frees up your floor space. It literally redefines the entire atmosphere of a room. So here is our roadmap for today's deep dive. Number 1, we'll look at the built-in dream. 2, what drives the cost. 3, we'll uncover the hidden engineering realities. And finally, number 4, the installation pathway. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, the built-in dream and why homeowners choose in-wall aquariums in the first place. When you think about it, the contrast is pretty wild. With a standard setup, you're usually dealing with a ton of visible clutter. We're talking bulky stands, exposed heaters, and this messy tangle of tubing that just eats up your floor plan. But an in-wall setup, it solves all of that beautifully. Because the tank sits entirely within a wall cavity, all that floor space is suddenly freed up for seating or foot traffic. And for smaller homes or dense urban layouts, that is an absolutely massive benefit. Plus, you get to hide all that noisy, unsightly filtration equipment in adjacent service bays. From a safety perspective, too, having the aquarium housed in a controlled structural envelope can actually reduce the risk of water spreading through your house if, something were to go wrong. Moving on to Section 2, what drives the cost, looking at the actual financial reality behind the glass. The crucial takeaway here is that you are not just paying for a pane of glass. Not even close. You are funding some really complex structural reinforcement. Larger tanks obviously mean more materials, sure. But labor is the real budget shifter here. Your contractor has to modify the framing to handle intense water loads. They have to bring in specialists for waterproofing and leak containment. And they have to safely route GFCI electrical lines far away from the splash zones. And we haven't even talked about custom building the precise spaces needed for your hidden sumps and filtration equipment. Which brings us to this really important reality check. Apparent simplicity can hide incredible engineering complexity. Sure, the final product looks like a serene, effortless window into the ocean, but achieving that perfectly flush-to-the-wall look, it requires extreme precision. So here's a pro tip. Always build a contingency line into your budget, because whenever you open up a wall, you're going to find surprises. You might need unexpected framing modifications, or you might have to relocate existing plumbing. There is almost always extra water testing and finish work that you simply didn't anticipate on day one. All right, Section 3, hidden engineering realities. Dealing with the incredible structural weight of a living wall. 8.3. This number should command your absolute respect. Water weighs roughly 8.3 pounds per gallon. So what does that actually mean for your house? Well, if you want to install a 200-gallon aquarium, you aren't just looking at the weight of the glass and the decorative rocks. You are looking at over 1,600 pounds of just water sitting in a highly concentrated area. To put that in perspective, that's literally like parking a smart car directly on your floor joists. You absolutely cannot just guess that your floor will hold it. A qualified professional has to confirm that your home's structure can handle those massive, unrelenting loads. And beyond just holding up a small car's worth of weight, you have to manage all the environmental elements that can slowly degrade your home over time. We've got 6 key things here. Load calculations and serious waterproofing are your very first lines of defense. But you also have to carefully route your plumbing and GFCI electrical circuits safely away from each other because, as we all know, water and power do not mix. Then there's ventilation, which is huge. A perfectly sealed tank still creates massive humidity. Without proper airflow, that moisture will slowly rot your wall cavity right from the inside out. And lastly, you have to plan out proper lighting for the animals, control the glare, and map out the sight lines so the tank actually looks good from your couch. Now, I really cannot stress this next concept enough. If you can't easily access your filtration system, routine maintenance becomes an absolute nightmare. We have all seen these supposedly beautiful designs that require you to literally squeeze between tight wall studs and risk spilling salt water all over your drywall just to change a simple filter sock. It's ridiculous. If you have to dismantle a wall panel to get to your equipment, let's be honest, you are eventually going to stop doing the maintenance. A well-designed system plans those service pathways right from the start so you can comfortably reach everything without tearing your house apart. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the installation pathway, our step-by-step guide to a successful build. To ensure safety and contain any potential leaks, you really have to follow a strict order of operations here. First, always confirm your wall location and structural feasibility before you buy anything. Once you've got your footprint and filtration selected, then you can map out your electrical and plumbing routes. Only after all that planning do you actually build out the waterproofed cavity, making sure to keep that service access we just talked about in mind. And finally, before any of the beautiful finishing touches go up, you have to run extensive leak tests to verify that the whole system is completely watertight and sound. And because local building codes and home construction types vary so wildly, making assumptions about your home's framing or electrical capacity is a massive gamble. It can lead to incredibly expensive rework, or much worse, a massive indoor flood. Bringing in structural and electrical pros early on is how you treat this like the true custom build that it is. Getting the experts in at step 1 is going to save you massive, massive headaches by step 5. Ultimately, an in-wall aquarium is an absolutely spectacular addition. It brings a literal piece of the ocean right into your living room, but it demands a deep respect for physics, moisture control, and ongoing maintenance. If you plan for the weight, prepare for the humidity, and prioritize access, you're going to end up with a beautiful, durable living ecosystem. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Before you go grab a sledgehammer and start wildly opening up your drywall, are you, and more importantly, is your home truly ready for the hidden engineering required for a living wall?